Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're just going south of the border over to Mexico and learn how to do some delicious beef birria and consomme. You guys can check out my next video to make the tacos with the beef birria and consomme. And here's my shopping list. Jack cheese. I have this Mexican seasoning, bay leaves. These are all the chili peppers I got, the three different types. I don't know how to pronounce them, but these are the three different types I got. I got fresh ginger, some Roma tomatoes, lime, and fresh cilantro, and then I got some beef shanks. This is the meat that I'm using for my beef birria. So let's go. So I'm gonna start off by opening all my chili peppers. It's real simple and easy how to open the chili peppers. You just cut the top off. That's what I'm doing right now. I was grabbing my scissors. I thought they weren't in the scene, but they actually were right there. So we're just gonna open the bag. We're gonna cut them open. We don't need gloves on because they're not really that spicy. We're just gonna cut the top off and take some of the seeds out. And I use a total of 16 chilies, so 6 of each one. Alrighty, guys. So after I got all my chilies, like I said, 18 of them, which I didn't say, so now I'm saying it now. All my 18 chilies, and I cut and de-seeded them the best that I can. I'm going to take some garlic, and I'm going to peel them off, but I'm going to leave them whole. Why? Because like I said, we're making a consomme. A consomme is like a Spanish stock or broth. And with that broth, I'm also taking a full onion. As you can see, I'm going to cut that full onion in half and take the skin off. And I'm going to also use that for my consomme. I'm going to take all these things and I'm going to fry them. Frying them are going to help release the vegetables' natural juices and also help rehydrate those chili peppers, those dry chili peppers we have. So let's go. So this is still all the process of making my consomme. Now I'm going to fry those chilies, onions, and garlics we had. And I'm going to put them directly into hot boiling water because I'm going to use this to make a salsa. And this salsa is actually going to flavor my consomme. It's more like a wet seasoning to go inside the consomme, which is like a Spanish broth. And here's my beef. These beef shanks are what I found at the store. You guys know with this COVID going on, a lot of stuff are not at the store, but I'm just using beef shanks, and it's only a few people eating, so as you guys can see, I only have a few pieces of beef shanks. If you want more meat with your consomme or for your tacos, you're going to make more beef. And I'm going to season them to my liking, which is salt and pepper and a little bit of Goya. So after putting the dry seasoning on your beef, which is your salt, your pepper, and your Goya, now we're going to make the wet seasoning. This wet seasoning is also going to go on top of your beef shanks, and it's also going to use to flavor your consomme. So what we're going to do is take these chilies, the garlic, and the onion that we cut up earlier, and we're going to fry them. Frying them will help to rehydrate the peppers and also start to release some of those delicious flavors from the peppers. As you guys can see, I actually have two pans next to each other. One pan is a frying pan, a hot frying pan of just canola oil that I am frying my chilies, my onions, and my garlic. And then I have a small pot next to it. That pot is only filled with hot water. This hot water is going to help also hydrate these peppers and make it easy to blend. We're going to blend everything that we're frying right now to make a wet marinade to go on the beef shanks. And that beef shank and wet marinade is what's going to make our consomme. So the best way for me to explain what a consomme is in English, for us, it's more like a broth or our stock. And Mexicans use this consomme as a soup to their tacos and also as a dipping. They take and dip their tacos in this consomme, or you can take and drink this consomme like a soup and just put the meat and the cilantros and the onions like I was telling you guys about on top. So let's keep going. So after we fry all our chilies and all our garlic and all our onions, we're just going to take them like I have them so in a bowl. I did take them out of the water first because we don't want to use all that water because we're going to water down the chilies and onions. Like I said, we're using this as a marinade. So we don't want to put too much water and then it's not flavorful. But we are going to still use that water that we boil them in to keep some of that flavor in it. So we're just going to put all of that in a blender and just a little water to blend it up. And I like to put all my meat and everything together on the side so I'm prepared. So I'm just going to put this all in the blender, blend it up, and put it on top of my beef shanks. Okay, during this step, I also like to flavor the chiles. The chiles do have flavor into them, but I like to mix all of these flavors and all of these spices and herbs together. I use about 2 tablespoons of each. And I mix them all into a bowl. And then I put all of that inside of my blender and blend that with my chiles so that I can start flavoring the marinade to put on top of my beef shanks. Don't forget with that reserved water that we boiled the chiles in. If it starts getting too thick and you can't blend it, you can add some of that water into your blender just so that you get the right consistency to your marinade that you want to put on your beef shanks. And after you get all that marinade all blended up, we're just going to add that to our beef shanks. Be careful, it will be a little hot. So when I use my blender, I do take the top off so that the steam has somewhere to release. So in that bowl that I had earlier with my seasoned beef shanks, I am just now going to put my wet marinade on those beef shanks. As you guys can see, I'm actually making sure that I am lifting the meat up and making sure that this meat is covered by all of this wet seasoning because we want this flavor to seep in there. And once I get this all covered up, and all looking all red and delicious, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to marinate for about 4 hours. I want to use all of my chili. So as you guys can see, I am still using some of that water that I boiled the chili and onion mixture with and put it inside my blender to make sure that I'm using all of the marinade that I have in my blender. So I'm just going to set this aside. While it is marinated for 4 hours, I do take the opportunity to get the rest of my sides, like my cilantro and my onions. And if you like carrots or radish or anything else or any other vegetables, I like to chop those up and get them prepared. You can fast forward to my video and see how to properly or easily get an onion and a cilantro chopped. Alrighty, so this is 4 hours later after letting my beef shanks marinate in the delicious chili seasoning blend that we made earlier. I'm just going to loosen it up and mix it all up. I actually have a pot of about 8 cups of water already on the side. So I'm just going to take my beef shanks and my marinade and put that in that water. And I'm going to try to use all of this marinade that's in there because like I said, that's all used to cook down and make your sauce, aka consomme, for your tacos. And we're actually going to boil this for about 2 to 3 hours, even longer if you have more meat. You're going to tell that your meat is ready because it's going to be tender and fall off the bone. And so, like, it's going to be so easy. Like, it's going to actually fall apart when you pick it up with a fork. Like, that's how tender it's going to be. So I'm just going to take a lid, put it on top, and put it on heat and let it boil. So this is about 2 hours into cooking. And it still need about an hour left of cooking. But as you guys can see, it's coming along great. I'm actually adding just a little bit more water. I want the water just enough where it's covering the meat. And I'm using the same bowl that I marinated the meat in and that had the marinade in. So I can still continue to use and to flavor my consomme. So at this point, I am going to continue to let my meat cook and continue to watch it. If it needs more water, add more water. And we're going to continue to let this boil and trouble and boil and bubble. So if you're like me, I am doing Hispanic food. So I'm actually listening to some Mexican music in the background. So if you see me just shaking it up, it's okay. That's how you cook. You pour your glass of wine, you smoke your blunt or whatever you need to do to get ready, and you cook. At this moment, with 30 minutes left of cooking, I am going to fire roast on an open fire, a gas fire, some tomatoes and some onions. It's real easy. We're just going to take it and put it on that fire until that skin starts to peel or to turn a little black. It won't take long. I mean, less than about 5 to 6 minutes. It will take, as you guys can see, it's starting to get soft and starting to char. That char is going to add so much flavor to your consomme and to your meat that it's just not explainable. I know it's a lot of steps to make this, and it's because this meal is actually for Mexicans and they do it on special occasions, and I see why, because it takes a long time, but that effort is worth it. Just like Creole food, the longer it takes, the more flavor the food has. And I actually got this I got this gas stove from Target. It's about $18. And as you guys can see earlier, like I told y'all, when my time was free, I used that time to chop up my extra sides that I had. And as you guys can see, I just showed you those sides that I did. And that's how your tomatoes should look when it's done. So again, this is a time check at 30 minutes of how your meat should look. With about 30 minutes left, I actually added my bay leaves now. And you guys can see that meat is getting so tender. And with 30 minutes left, I'm also going to take those fire roasted tomatoes and blend those up. And that garlic, I also fire roasted some garlic and onion because I just want to add more flavor to my consomme. So after I blended that up, I'm just going to simply take it and add that to my consomme. As you guys can see, my onion did not blend all the way, but that's okay because I'm going to strain this consomme anyway. As you guys can see, look how beautiful that looks. If you guys can smell this kitchen, oh my God. I don't even know if you guys will be waiting the 3 hours that it takes. But look at that, how tender that meat is after 3 hours and how thick. Oh, look at that. So I'm just going to pour that out of my consomme. I'm going to take my meat out of my consomme and let it chill until it's warm enough to touch. And I'm going to shred that. And then I'm going to take my liquid, which is my consomme that we're going to dip our tacos in. And I'm going to strain that. It smells so good in here. I could just eat it right now. But we're not done. We're going to complete our full recipe so that we can taste the full effect. So we're just going to strain this consomme. I have a strainer and a bowl that can withstand the heat of how long this been. Remember, this has been boiling for about 3 hours, so it's going to be extremely hot. So we're just going to strain it just to get all those particles from the chile and from the tomatoes and everything like that. And we're going to put that in a separate pot and put that back on the heat because we do want our consomme hot. Here we are, and that's how it looks. Oh, that looks so good, y'all. If you want, you can strain some of the grease off the top. I am going to strain it later. As you guys can see, once I stir it up, it's not that much. It just looks like that because it's so red. And there we have it, how to make our beef birria and our consomme. If you want to learn how to make the beef birria tacos, please look at my other videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.